Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me today. What the hell day is it? I'm never good at this. May 30th, Thursday, around 10:40 p.m. And we got some Battlehawks to talk. First and foremost, if you're watching this, you don't want to watch it, you don't want to look at me, it's on Spotify and on Apple. It's called Solid on Spotify and Apple. If you're listening to this and you're like, man, what does this guy look like? What does this idiot look like? It's at Solid Pod on YouTube. So if you got options, is what I'm saying. That's what I offer for you. One other thing, other than that, is I found Zins at a gas station. So the world is healing. But we have ourselves a little bit of a week 9 reKAWp to talk about. Is what we got to talk about. We get to talk about the Battlehawks week 9 game where they lost 36-22 to the Arlington Renegades. I promise this time. I know in the reaction I could never get I probably called the Arlington Renegades the wrong name at least 6 times, if not more. Probably double that, 12. You know what? Whole baker's dozen. 13 times I probably called them the wrong name. I'm gonna try to get it right this time, because I'm not a hero. The real heroes are out there. I'm not a hero, but I did watch this game again. So that's pretty impressive, if I don't say so myself. So we got a reKAWp first, and obviously the best place, and not the best place, but the place that we're going to start is the place we always start, and that is with your quarterback. And we know that the quarterback in this game was Manny Wilkins, Manfred Wilkins. Manfred seems like his name is Manny on the stats. It's probably just Manny. Like, I met a guy named Jake once. His name was not Jacob, and that was weird. It was like, no, because Jake is a nickname. Anyway, Manny's probably a nickname for Manfred. We'll call him Manny. We'll call him Manny Wilkins because that's what he goes by. Not that he deserves to necessarily choose his name. But Manny Wilkins, 18 for 32, 179 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. I was thinking about how I wanted to broach this topic with Manny Wilkins, and I think that I'm going to make a very valiant effort because I'm a good person. Again, not a hero. I'm a good person. I'm going to try to do a shit sandwich with this. I'm going to try to layer it. I'm going to try to say good thing, and then I'm going to talk about a bad thing that he did, and then good thing, and that hopefully there's enough good things where I don't make this an open face shit sandwich. That would not be pleasant if I did that, and that's a bad visual. Anyway, okay, Manny Wilkins, something good that he did. He had there was a 4th and 1 near the end of the game where Manny Wilkins threw a good pass, a 1-yard pass, albeit 1 yard, and it didn't have any velocity. Nope, being positive. He threw a good pass to Jake Sutherland for a 1st down on a 4th down. That's a good thing. That's a good thing he did. Bad thing that he did. Immediately followed that up with an interception. So that's bad. That was his first interception, is the one that I'm talking about. And it was really gross. This is not the pick six. This is the one he's throwing to Jacour Pearson, deep down, probably 25 yards down the right sideline, and Jacour Pearson, 5'9" on a good day. 5'9" on a good day. Probably closer to 5'6" or 5'7" most of the time. Manny Wilkins throws a ball that is in the air for no less than 2.5 hours. That ball was in the air for the entire length of the game. He threw that ball at the beginning of the game, and then it finally got intercepted at the end of the game. Not even the end of the game, because there's still a lot of more possessions after that, unfortunately. But he throws this ball that's in the air forever over Jacour Pearson's head. Jacour Pearson has to turns around and has to readjust his body in the middle of the air, and then it just gets high pointed by the safety. And it was just a really terrible, terrible, terrible interception. And when I say this, I don't know who you are. I love you, but I don't know who you are. I'm talking. This is not a like saying I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I'm saying who you are, the person listening to this. Maybe your name is also Jake. Why can't I think of a different name? Maybe your name is Manny. Nope, that's also a name I talked about. Maybe your name is Scott. Maybe okay. Hey Scott, if you're listening to Scott, I don't know who you are, and to anybody, you could have intercepted this ball. I don't know anything about you. I don't know. Maybe you're in a wheelchair. Maybe you have gout. You could have intercepted this ball. It was that bad. So that was a bad thing that Manny Wilkins did. Okay, good thing. Good thing that he did. Good thing that he did. Good thing that he did. He lowered his shoulder on a guy on a run one time. Okay, another bad thing that he did. Bad thing that Manny Wilkins did. Let's just stick with the interceptions. Let's just do that. So second interception, and this is the pick six. And this is the one where I don't know who. I think he was throwing to Blake Jackson. Actually, it was either Blake Jackson or Steven Mitchell, but I'm pretty sure it was Blake Jackson. I'm pretty sure it was 8. Just never in his mind, never. You could convince me that Manny Wilkins thought that there was only 10 players on defense because he never saw this. I'm guessing it was a safety. Good God, I hope it was a safety. Because if it was a corner that got this interception, it would have been the easiest completion in the world. But he never saw the safety, and then grossly, violently, illegally underthrows. I believe we're going to go with Blake Jackson because that's what happens if you throw the ball to Blake Jackson and there's a turnover. Throws the ball to Blake Jackson, and this guy, I mean, we're talking about the dude with the long dreads, them long dreads. And I've seen this guy because this happened during the game, and my wife says, it seems like that guy could probably get tackled by his dreads pretty easily, more so than other people, because you see like you see some guys that have like the dreads sticking out, like the Derrick Henry has like the giant, like a man's arm sticking out of the back of his head, but he's getting tackled by people on defense. If this guy gets tackled, he's getting tackled by people on offense who are just going to grab whatever they can grab. And I've seen him get interceptions before this season where people grab him by them dreads and then just yank him to the ground, which seems very violent. Because it is. But he comes out of nowhere, not out of nowhere. He comes out of nowhere. If you're Manny Wilkins, he just comes into this plane from the ether. Just appears there, snags it, runs it all the way back, and it's a pick six. And at that point, the game is not over, but the game's over. Because at that point they were up 15. Yes, so bad. Okay, something good. Let me see if he does something good. Wow, this shit sandwich is gonna be open faced. This is gonna be open faced. Nope, that's a Bruce Gregg. I was gonna bring up the brotherly shove touchdown that they had. That was not a Manny Wilkins thing. There's got to be something else. That can't possibly be the only good things that he did. So those were the only good things that he did. All right, so let's get back to more bad things that he did. Oh no, you know what? He had a good ball to Steven Jackson, that really deep one on the right sideline. He had that. Okay, that's a good thing. We're gonna run into a problem here before too awful long with good things. Bad thing that he did. The third interception. How about that one? How about the third interception where he misses? Let me know if you've heard this one before. Manny Wilkins misses Hakeem Butler. I'm not a strong man. I'm not a strong man. I'm not a hero. I'm not a strong man. I'm nice. I'm not a strong man. I don't think I could miss Hakeem Butler because it wasn't that long. It wasn't that far of a throw. He throws outside and he underthrows it, and it gets picked, and the guy just goes down, and that's the game. And it's just I don't. I'm gonna forecast something or not forecast, but kind of spoil something for later in the show. There's not a whole lot of hot mics this game, so my award this week is going to be premonition of the week. And one of the premonitions this week is at the beginning of the game. the broadcasters were talking about how Manny Wilkins last week and how what they're assuming that he would do this week is that he would play better as the game goes on. And then they ended it with 3 just truly gruesome interceptions. None of them were the wide receiver's fault. They were all Manny Wilkins' fault, and I don't really want to see him anymore. You guys are never gonna guess who I'm gonna pick for the week. Okay, something good. Okay, let's say we're stretching, we're reaching here. The play before it was the 4th and 1 that he threw to Jake Sutherland. He had a good run that was almost a first down, so that was good. Okay. Other things that he's not good at. He has terrible vision. He has truly atrocious vision. This is the Battlehawks' second drive of the game. It is a 3rd down. I believe this might have been. This is actually their first drive of the game. The first drive of the game, it went screen to Darius Shepard. It went screen to, I didn't write who it was to. And then it was 3rd and 6, and Manny Wilkins scrambles, and there are 3 people in the middle of the field. It is Mike Panashuk blocking his guy. There's only 3 people. There's 4 people on the screen. It's Manny Wilkins, Mike Panashuk, the guy Mike Panashuk, the center, is blocking, and then this other guy that I guess was their QB spy. And the QB spy is coming from the top. Like, so if you're looking at the screen, he's coming from the top of the field. So he's on Manny's left, and Mike Panashuk is blocking in the middle of the field. And Manny Wilkins could go to the right of Mike Panashuk, because then Mike Panashuk could actually potentially block 2 people, and this could turn into a 3rd down. But Manny Wilkins ran to the left, and by run to the left, I mean he hit Mike Panashuk in the left ass cheek, and then they both fell over. He's got bad vision, and nobody knows what the fuck he's going to do on any play. He doesn't follow his reads. He doesn't do anything. It was right before the cowardly field goal that the Battlehawks have. I'm gonna just kind of lump together a bunch of bad things now because there's nothing else that was good. It was the play before the 4th and goal from the 3-yard line where they kicked a field goal. I think it was like 3rd and 5 at this point, and Bruce Gradkowski calls in the play, and then everything on the play, everybody on the field goes to the right. All of the people on offense are blocking to the right because that's where this play is supposed to go. But Manny Wilkins runs off of the left tackle and gets tackled for a 2-yard gain. He puts his head down and runs straight into 2 people. And it's just so bad. It's so bad that Bruce Gradkowski, you could hear him say, "Why the hell did he run to the left?" And then they kicked a field goal. It's just, I don't even know if I want to rag on him that much more. Guys, I swear to God, so what I do is I don't want to hold it up because my iPad's charging right now, but I highlight everything, like I write all my notes and then I highlight everything, like color coordinate it to which position it is. And all the stuff that's dark blue is stuff for the quarterback. And I mean, it's not all, it's a lot of dark blue, and none of it is good. Wilkins doesn't pull the trigger on Sailors in the red zone. Throws it out of the end zone. He's quick to pull the ball, and he gets the ball to the 1-yard line. That was the brotherly shove touchdown on that drive. So that was good. Except he didn't really do anything on that because Kamari Averett and Jake Sutherland just lifted him up and then just kind of brought him into the end zone. Okay, he did have another good thing. He did have a touchdown himself where he just had to beat one linebacker, and he beat that linebacker, and then they interviewed him afterwards, and he said, all I had to do was beat one guy, and I'm not going down from the first person who hits me. That's a good theory, but typically he runs into two people. So yeah, maybe the first guy's not going to bring you down, but the second guy that hits him at the exact same time, that guy will bring you down. Who knows which one's the first one? Not me. I certainly don't. Wilkins throws away instead of hitting a dump off at Sailors early. Wilkins throws a bad ball to JaKorb Pearson on third down. The ball was deflected in his defense. It was just really bad, man. It was terrible. It was terrible, and I don't want to see him anymore. So that's Manny Wilkins. I just can't possibly fathom a reason why they would play him this weekend. But I'll get to that because I have some later on in the Bird's Eye preview because I have some kind of contrasting thoughts in my head. So that is Manny Wilkins. As far as the running game goes, Jacob Sailors, 14 carries for 104 yards, no touchdowns, but he did have the very long, the 38-yard run, which was really, really good. I really liked that. Manny Wilkins had 10 carries for 51 yards. Wayne Gallman had 2 carries for 4 yards. Typically in the UFL, if we're seeing a quarterback carry the ball 10 times, we're talking closer to like 70 yards, 80 yards or something like that. To be fair, the ones that kind of set the tone for that is just Adrian Martinez, and by no means should anybody compare Manny Wilkins to Adrian Martinez unless your comparison is Manny Wilkins is not anywhere close to being close to Adrian Martinez. That would be the only comparison, but that's really it. But 10 for 51 is not very good, especially given all of the opportunity and room that he had. And then Wayne Gallman, just 2 carries for 4 yards. But the running game was really good, set on, I guess maybe there wasn't a whole lot of RPOs or anything like that. Maybe the defense was kind of thinking that Manny Wilkins was always just going to be the one to run the ball. But Jake Sailors did have a very good game. I'm not trying to take away from Jake Sailors having a good game. And the offensive line blocked well for Jake Sailors. There's a lot of times there's a really specific one where Kamari Averett sprung open a hole in between the left guard and the left tackle. That was really good. They were able to get numbers in the middle, and then Jake Sailors makes a couple guys miss and gets a huge run. Jake Sailors, hats off to him. He is definitely a contender for reKAWp of the week this week. And I don't want to say he's the front runner, but you guys are gonna have to listen to me think of who's gonna win that award when we get there. The running game was really good. I understand why they didn't rely on it near the end of the game. I don't understand. I get why they didn't start running the ball at the end of the game or keep running the ball at the end of the game because they were down a lot of points. And there was like 6 minutes left before Manny Wilkins threw that first touchdown. It would have been nice. Is all I'm saying. It would have been it would have been less stressful to have Jake Sailors run the ball. I would have been more happy with Jake Sailors running the ball at the end of the game than having Manny Wilkins throw the ball. And I understand that Manny Wilkins throwing the ball is how you incorporate Hakeem Butler and JaKorb Pearson and Darius Shepard into the game. I understand that Manny Wilkins I understand that if you're going to win the game, it's got to include those 3 guys in the passing game. But Manny Wilkins just has such little faith in himself, clearly, the reason why he's holding on to the ball for so long, and he only throws deep balls that are good whenever Stevie Mitchell's wide open. I have more faith. I would have been more comfortable if Jake Sailors was running the ball at the end of the game. That is my level of confidence in Manny Wilkins. I feel like we're all on the same page here. I feel like we're all on the same page. You guys, we're all on the same page here. So that's a running game. Passing game. Darius Shepard, leading receiver, 5 carries, 47 yards, off 5 targets, caught all 5 of his balls. Love to see that for him. He hasn't been getting a whole lot of targets lately. Steve Mitchell, 4 catches for 46 yards on 6 targets. Wayne Gallman, 2 catches, 29 yards on 3 targets. JaKorb Pearson only caught 2 of the 5 balls, but 3 of them, to be fair, one of them was the interception. Another one was thrown way past him. I think he got clocked on another one because the throw was late. so I don't blame him for that. Hakeem Butler, 2 catches, 12 yards, 3 targets. Easily Hakeem Butler's worst game that I think that we've ever seen, and that's including the first 2 games of the season where he did not do shit. Again, there's a person that we're going to blame, and it rhymes with Manny Wilkins. Jake Sutherland had 1 catch for 16 yards. Jake Sutherland had 1 catch for 16 yards. Jake Saylor's 1 catch for 11 yards. And then Blake Jackson, 1 catch for 5 yards, and he fumbled that one. And buddy, that fumble that he had is up there. I tweeted this, and I put the video out. I put the video of this fumble because I wasn't really paying attention after he fumbled, or after the fumble. I was like, okay, I got to piss. I remember during the game. But so I walked away whenever they were doing the replays and stuff. Maybe you guys saw this and I didn't. I just saw this for the first time when I was rewatching this. I'm submitting his name to the Academy for worst football IQ play of the 2024 calendar year. And I understand that there is still 90% of a NFL season that's going to get played. Blake Jackson catches the ball. He's at the sticks. He's at the first down. And then he's got a guy wrapped on him. He's in the middle of the field on the logo, on the UFL logo in the middle of the field, and then reaches the ball forward. You don't fucking do that unless it's a 4th down on the goal line. You don't do that. He reaches the ball forward, immediately gets popped. Immediately. As soon as he reaches the ball out, a guy blasts him, knocks the ball out of his hands, and it's a turnover. And it's just like, buddy, what are you doing? Why? How are we making these kinds of mistakes? How on earth could we make these kinds of mistakes? I don't. Unfortunately, Jamarcus Bradley is on the IR now, or else I would say we could probably just never have Blake Jackson be on the field again. Unfortunately, the situation that we have at hand is that Blake Jackson's a warm body, so we gotta use him. But good God. And then he was also the receiver on the interception, too. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Why are we doing this? Oh, one other good thing Manny Wilkins did, just looking at it now, he hit 8 receivers. So good for him. I closed a shit sandwich with that. I closed a shit sandwich. It went bread, shit, bread, shit, bread, shit, and then bread on the top. Closing the book on Manny Wilkins. It was not fun while it lasted, Manny. That's for damn sure. I did notice that Hakeem Butler, once again, not blocking. There's a few reps there where the guy's not blocking. He could have blocked. Let me see exactly what my note is here for him. But he's just, he's a gigantic body, and it would not take a whole lot for him to block, but he's just not doing. It was actually, you know what it was? It was on that second screenplay, the second play of the game, where I said that I didn't know who caught the ball. My note: screen on second play, tackled by 2 guys. Hakeem Butler blocks no one, and he's right there. And he could have blocked. He could have blocked one guy. He could have blocked the other guy. He blocked neither guy, and both guys made the tackle. And I've been saying this, is that if there's a reason that these guys aren't going to get a chance in a real chance in the NFL, yes, Hakeem Butler clearly can be a good possession receiver. His hands are not the most reliable in the NFL, but he's a huge body, huge big receivers. He's fucking big for the NFL. 6'6", however tanky he is, he could be a good piece on an NFL team. That structure of a player can be a good piece on a team, but Hakeem Butler is just, his blocks give you nothing. And if you're going to be a guy that's getting paid dog shit in the NFL, you got to be able, and he's not a special teams guy, you got to be able to have, especially with a body that big, you got to be able to block, man, and he just doesn't. And it's like, people are going to see that, buddy. People are going to see that, and it's just, ugh. Anyway, I think that's the entirety of the offense. The offensive line, I should say. Honestly, I thought the offensive line played pretty good. They only allowed just the no, they didn't allow any sacks. And I was thinking about this. So, tell me if I'm dumb. At some point, you don't have to do it right now. But tell me if I'm dumb. Tell me if I actually do it right now. If you're listening to this and I'm dumb, be like, tweet at me or something. Just say, hey, dummy, you're dumb. And I encourage that. Or like in the comments or whatever, be like, hey, stupid, that's dumb. Is it wrong? I don't want to say, am I blaming the offensive line for, I'm going to rag on Manny Wilkins again. Am I blaming the offensive line for Manny Wilkins' badness? Because they're giving him a lot of time. They gave him a lot of time back there. And the unfortunate thing with Manny Wilkins is that if you give him a lot of time, he's not able to process, and he doesn't have the faith in his arm to really throw the ball, and then he does his running and scrambling and stuff like that. Because that he has enough time to watch the play develop and watch every single one of his receivers get swallowed up in coverage, not swallowed up, but swallowed up in coverage to a point where he doesn't believe that he can make the throw. The offensive line is giving him that amount of time. Again, I'm not blaming the offensive line for this. What the offensive line is doing is great. It's just, unfortunately, the time that they were giving him was making it so he didn't have to try to even get the ball out quick. Because, like I said, some of these notes that I put on Manny Wilkins, that he was not getting the ball out quick. He was missing dump-offs. He was missing throws underneath. Or not missing them, but he just wasn't taking throws underneath. He wasn't pulling the trigger. And it's because he had so much time back there, and then shit would break down in coverage, or not, the coverage wouldn't break down, and then he would take off. And it's like the offensive line did a really good job helping a guy who should have been able to do better, not do as poorly as he did. The offensive line did such a good job that they made a guy who should have done better do as poorly as he did. That right there is thinking your way through a sentence, and I fucking nailed it, guys. The offensive line played good. Manny Wilkins didn't. Okay, now we're done with Manny Wilkins. Now we're going to go on to the defense. The defense, Defense, let's say this. Luis Perez, 24 for 36, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns, completion percentage of 67%. The defense allowed 114 yards a yak. Let's see. Let's see how they also. I should have said this with the offense. The offense only had it was only 4 for 11 on third downs. The defense allowed 6 of 14 third downs. Okay. The defense got, in the first half, the defense played much worse than they did in the second half. In the first half, the defense allowed 19 points. In the second half, the defense allowed, what would that be, 11 points. So that's 1 touchdown and a field goal. And I believe, did that touchdown, give me 1 second, chronological, did their touchdown in the second half, no, their touchdown in the second half came off of a kickoff, not a turnover. But they only allowed 11 points in the second half. The Renegades did score 17 points in the second half, but that 6 of those points was off a pick 6. So we don't count that towards what the defense did. The defense in the first half, they got a lot. They got a whole lot. They picked on Willie Harvey so much. It was just constantly Willie Harvey was out running in deep coverage against whether it be tight ends, whether it be wide receivers. They just picked on him so much, and they did some motions. They had some play schemes that allowed them to do this. This was not the Arlington's, not the Renegades' best game, because they did score 46 points a couple weeks ago. But this was a good game for them on offense. They had a really good game. They decimated the linebacker position, and specifically Willie Harvey. And I don't blame Willie Harvey for that. I've blamed Willie Harvey for a lot of things. I'm not going to blame him for this. He was getting put in really, really bad positions, and that's a defensive scheme thing. Okay, that's on Donnie Abraham for allowing this situation to happen. But at halftime, later in the second half of the game, I shouldn't say at halftime, but in the second half of the game, the defense adjusted. The defense adjusted, and Willie Harvey stopped getting picked on so much. Unfortunately, the damage had been done at that point. They scored 19 points in the first half. So, and those 19 points largely due to the guys getting open because Willie Harvey is the linebacker and should not necessarily be covering Sal Cannella. Yeah, you can call him a tight end, but he's just a big wide receiver. He's essentially Hakeem Butler. But that Deontay Burnett, guys like that, these speedy guys were just getting open when Willie Harvey was in coverage. So I think that's kind of the crux of where this game went wrong. They won this game by putting up those points. Like that, those points that got put up in the first half is largely the reason why this team why they ended up beating the Battlehawks. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. Willie Harvey was just constantly being put in a bad position. Mike Rose missed a few tackles here and there. Again, I brought this up last week. In my head, am I like, is this guy still dealing with an injury? And he clearly is. I mean, on a human level, you don't get over having your ankle torn to shreds in 4 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever the hell it was. But I don't know. Linebacker position, it was they got outgamed. They got gamed. The linebackers got gamed, and that in all reality means that the defense got gamed. As far as defensive backs go, one thing I realized during this game. So in this game, starting defensive backs for this team, is Quinterio Cole, it was Ben DeLuca, it was Brendan Sebastian, it was Chris Payton-Jones, and Drayvon Askew Henry. I believe he's been the starter the entire time at slot. The only 2 starters that are in that defensive backfield for this game was Quinterio Cole and Drayvon Askew Henry, which is not good. Now Tim Harris has been playing pretty well, given that he's a backup. But Chris Payton-Jones, man, he got fucking rocked this game too. He was another guy that they picked on. There was 2 people on defense that they picked on, and it was Willie Harvey and it was Chris Payton-Jones. Chris Payton-Jones just got schooled by that Isaiah Winstead, number 14. He's playing press man and just gets tossed out of the way. There was one play, no, that was Drayvon Askew Henry, but there's another play where Chris Payton-Jones tries to tackle a guy on the sideline, and he just doesn't make the tackle and falls to the ground and looks like a buffoon, and guy ends up getting like 10 more yards after the catch. It's like, it's gross. He got beat up. They ended up actually pulling him from the game and put in that Keelan Kennedy again. Like they ended up doing that. And I don't hate that guy. I don't hate like a Keelan Kennedy. He showed me some stank, man. He showed some stank, didn't he? On that it ended up being a pick 1, but after the pick 6 on their on Arlington's 1-point conversion, Keelan Kennedy, he's the other guy that's up there for reKAWp of the week. You're down by 15 points, and he gets an interception in the end zone and returns it for 1 fucking point. The guy ran as fast as he could, 100 yards for 1 fucking point. You kidding me? That's a dog. That's a dog is what that is. I like him. But yeah, that's kind of the situation we're at here. I said Drayvon Askew Henry did not exactly have a good game either. He got dinged up at one point, and it was on a play where he tries to tackle Sal Cannella and then gets just shrugged off of him. He gets up off the ground and then tries to tackle Sal Cannella again. He catches up to him, tries to tackle him again, and then just gets boinked onto the ground. And he missed two tackles in one play, which is a pretty impressive thing. He kind of didn't have the best game in the world. I don't know. I like Quinterio Cole still. Unfortunately, at the end of this game, he did look gimpy. Like, he stayed on the field. He has some heart. He stayed on the field, but, man, he was laboring walking. And that is a reason, I'll get to this later, but he is not playing. He's inactive for Week 10, Quinterio Cole is. So that does suck, but that's the kind of the reality. I don't know. I don't think I hated the way that the defensive backs played this entire game. Not a lot of the shots that were being taken, like they didn't tackle good. I will say that nobody on defense really tackled good this game, except for like a handful of drives. But the defensive backs weren't. I would say 60% of them, I guess. I'm not sure. Were not asked to do a whole lot because they were playing well. They were kind of covering people up. But yeah, that's kind of the situation with them. Talked about linebackers getting out-schemed. Defensive line, man. defensive line has been awful sleepy. I said that last week. They seemed sleepy until the end of the game where Kobe Smith kind of came alive a little bit, but they were awful sleepy this game. They did not. They did get some pressure on Luis Perez. They never really got him to the ground a whole lot. I think they got like one sack. And I don't even think the sack was on him. At one point, the Renegades brought in some other schmuck, some other guy, and I think he's the one who actually got sacked. But they never like brought Luis Perez to the ground. And I saw some people like, why wouldn't we rush in 5 or 6? And I think I said this in the reaction. It's like, you're getting a lot of cooks in the kitchen there. You're getting a lot of guys there, and they did do some things where they rush 6 guys with like blitzes and stuff like that, but they never lined up like 5 DNs or not 5 DNs, five defensive linemen. It's just and I felt like Chris Garrett and Travis Feeney and Carson Wells and Pita Tamoipenu, they were pretty consistent through the game. They were getting Pita Tamoipenu was getting taken out of the game a few times. They brought it up on the broadcast. The right tackle was taking him past like behind the quarterback, which is the way that you play a guy like that. But every once in a while he would get on the inside and he would affect the way that Luis Perez was throwing, and it would lead to incompletions. When the defensive line won, it was very, very effective. It's just that it didn't happen that regularly, and the tackles didn't do anything this game. It didn't feel like they weren't necessarily good in the run game. The Renegades ran for 88 yards on 18 carries by. They ran for 81 yards. Sorry, their running backs ran for 81 yards on 18 individual carries. They both got right at 40 yards. But the interior defensive linemen, the tackles, they didn't do a whole lot. They didn't. They seemed kind of invisible, and you really like to be able to see some of those bigger, some of them fat meat boys, some of them cows get in there and kind of mess stuff up. But they never really seemed to do that. They didn't get a whole lot of penetration this game. If there was pressure, it really seemed to be coming from the edges. And again, we saw this game that the Battlehawks did do their speed package where they had 4 DNs come in. Like there was some times where they would have all 4 DNs line up on the line standing up. Like they were rushing from standing up, and it was relatively successful. It was actually after the Blake Jackson fumble, it was the Renegades' first touchdown. They were really aggressive. This is when they did the that Sooner play that scored that reverse flea flicker kind of a thing, and that was a good play. You can't knock that. It sucks that Quinterio Cole got sucked down, bit on the reverse, and it let whatever that guy's name was, what's his dick, scored. But then on the 2-point conversion after that, they did like this really quick snap. They did a really quick snap while the defensive linemen were just like still like they hadn't even had a chance to really comprehend what the hell was going on there, and then they got that 2-point conversion. I believe that's what the scenario was. I specifically remember a scenario where they got really aggressive after something happened. They got really the Arlington got really aggressive. They did a quick snap. The defense hadn't even like had a full chance to like line up or anything yet, they had the Battlehawks had their speed package in, and all 4 defensive linemen got just taken out of the play. But that's kind of where I'm at with the defensive line. Did I cover everything there? I know I covered the defensive backs. I covered the linebackers, and Willie Harvey really getting picked on sucked. And then the defensive line. I think, was there anybody that really stood out in this game? I mean, Willie Harvey did get 11 tackles, but that's just because he was the one in coverage but still getting beaten. Yeah, I think that's all we really got going on there. Okay. Was there any coaching things? Oh yeah, okay. Was the field goal a coward's field goal? The Battlehawks field goal. It was the only one that they had. It was the one. It was 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. I want to say it was a coward's field goal, but after watching Manny Wilkins, I'm going to bring him up again, do his bullshit thing where he ran to the left where the entire play was going to the right, which, again, only confirms my thought that there are 21 people on the field that have no idea where Manny Wilkins is going to go with the ball. Maybe 22 because I don't think Manny Wilkins knows either. Anyway, so maybe he Beck saw that. He's like, we're not fucking doing that shit again. We're going to get some points. But I want to say was cowardly, because even though you got this loose cannon psychopath as your quarterback, you gotta think you gotta be able to have faith. Hand the ball off to Jake Sailors. Another good thing that Manny Wilkins did is that he handed the ball off to Jake Sailors. So good for him. Give the ball to Jake Sailors to get 3 yards for Jake Sailors is a easy thing. He averaged 7.4 yards per carry this game. I don't know. I'm gonna say it is a coward's field goal. So I thought that was dumb. I thought Bruce reKAWp, given what we saw, which is a tough thing to say, I think he called a good game. There's so many passing downs where Manny Wilkins just I can't stop. Just took off. I think he called a good game. He called passes that I think were good situations to call passes, and then the ball just never got thrown. Okay, so let's get into the awards. Let us get into the awards while I'm scrolling down. Becht also did say bring your own juice at one point right before the Battlehawks scored. The bring your own juice is very dumb. That sounds dumb. Here's another note that I had before I get into the awards. As far as another thing on offense, Jake Sailors had 7 rushes for 74 yards in the first half, and I guess that does kind of average out to be the normal kind of carries. Maybe never mind. We're not going to bring that up. If I could edit this, I would. I don't know if I've ever brought this up. I don't edit these at all. This is just they call me One Take Jake. I just do this and then we go with it. Because I mix between don't know how to edit and I don't want to. Okay, awards. reKAWp of the week. reKAWp of the week goes to the player who did the best on the team in a specific week, had a standout performance. I don't give it to the quarterback because if it's A.J. McCarron, he's going to win every single week. Not the issue this week. reKAWp of the week. So, it's either going to go to Jake Sailors for rushing for 104 yards or Keelan Kennedy for the pick one. I really like Keelan Kennedy's thing, but I've set a precedent that if a running back goes for over 100 yards, I give it to them. I'm sorry, Keelan Kennedy. No, because Jake Sailors has won this before. I believe he ran for 104 yards, or maybe that was Mateo Durant, but I know Jake Sailors has won. I'm giving it to Keelan Kennedy. Keelan Kennedy, I like you. Don't make me regret it. Please, for the love of God, don't make me regret it. The last 3 players I've said that I liked, Stephen Mitchell specifically, they've burned me. Keelan Kennedy, buddy, I'm going to give you an award. I'll give you a certificate if you promise not to burn me on this. Don't burn me on this, okay? Please, God, don't burn me on this because you're going to have the opportunity to burn me on this, and I just really, really hope that you don't. Keelan Kennedy gets reKAWp of the week. Keelan Kennedy for the backup corner, for getting the pick six. Backup defensive back. I feel like if they're that far into the depth chart, I feel like they're just kind of using guys that can play anywhere. We're going to say Keelan Kennedy, backup defensive back. reKAWp to you, sir. reKAWp of the week to you. Next one is of the week. Of the week goes to Manny Wilkins. Of the week is the award that goes to the player who did the worst, and it's Manny Wilkins. That was easy. Big of the week. That's 2 of the week to a person in a row. reKAWp of the week. reKAWp of the week is going to go to Becht. I feel like he's won reKAWp of the week. No, I think Hakeem Butler won it a couple weeks. Was it last week or a couple weeks ago? Hakeem Butler won it because of his lack of blocking. Oof. Do I want to give it to him again? No, I'm going to give it back to Anthony Becht. He deserves something. Coward of the week goes to Anthony Beck for the cowardly field goal. 4th and 3, kicking a field goal is despicable. Dumb bitch of the week. Dumb bitch of the week. Dumb bitch of the week. Dumb bitch of the week is going to go to Mike Pereira because of the Jake Sailors touchdown that should have been that he called back. I brought this up in the reaction. This is the one where they reviewed it and they were like, okay, we can't see where the ball is, so we can't confirm that it went over the line of scrimmage. But on one camera, we could clearly see that the ball was not in his tummy. It wasn't in his pants. We could see that the ball wasn't there. So that means that the ball was somewhere from rib cage up, and it wasn't on his head. And then from another angle, we can see that his rib cage up crossed the line of scrimmage. Deductive reasoning says that ball's got to be crossing the line of scrimmage, right? Maybe that's not deductive reasoning. Whatever the fuck it is, basic logic tells us that that ball is crossed the line of scrimmage. And then he's like, I don't know. Can't. Maybe. Probably not, though. And then he called it back, and then they did the brotherly shove, and I liked that. I enjoyed that. But he does get Dumb Bitch of the Week for robbing Jake Sailors of a 100-yard game with a touchdown. Dumb Bitch of the Week goes to you, Mike Pereira. New award. What a pimp where you been of the week. What a pimp where you been of the week is going to go to our guy Darius Shepard. Seems like he's been kind of quiet for the last couple weeks. And he has been injured. But it seems like he's been kind of quiet. He had 152 kickoff return yards, set the team up with really good position. I think 3 kick returns in a row. He went he returned it to the 50, to the 45, and the 43. And then one of those was immediately an intercept. It was another interception thrown by what's his dick. But yeah, no. What a pimp where you been of the week is Darius Shepard. Because not only that, he was the leading pass catcher on the team. He had 216 total all-purpose yards. Yeah, what a pimp where you been of the week goes to Darius Shepard. Premonition of the week. This is the one that I was talking about before. Premonition of the week, because we didn't have a whole lot of hot mics this week. We didn't have really any, I don't believe. We didn't have any hot mics this week, so we're doing premonition of the week because there was actually a lot of them. Okay, so there was a lot of times in this game where somewhere on the broadcast somebody would be like, "This is something. I wonder how blank is going to deal with this," or "This is like I said before. I'm excited about Manny Wilkins, who got better as the game went on last week." That was what somebody said. That's a premonition, assuming that Manny Wilkins is going to get better as the game goes on this week. Where was another one? Oh, when Bruce Gradkowski, this was on the cowardly field goal drive, says, make sure we get a good celebration when we score. They kicked a field goal. So that's another good premonition. Good as in bad. I had one more premonition. Oh, maybe I had 2 more. Where are my stars at? Oh, the other premonition was after fucking Manny Wilkins throws his first interception, Sam Acho on the broadcast says he just threw an interception. Let's see how he recovers from this. And then he immediately throws a pick 6. So those are our 3. We have Manny Wilkins gets better as the game goes on. We have celebrate when you score, and then they didn't score. And then we have how's he gonna respond from an interception. And I think it's gotta go the last one because that's the funniest. Like, he hadn't even finished talking. Like, they snapped the ball. Sam Acho says, "Let's see how he responds to throwing an interception." As he's saying that, the ball is getting caught. It's poetry. It's beautiful. Like, I don't know how they do it. Maybe football is rigged. Maybe it is. Because that's gorgeous. You can't you can make that up. And if you made it up, it would be hilarious. And it happened in real life, and it's still hilarious. That Sam Acho premonition of the week. I'll make you a certificate, I guess, or something like that. That's the awards. That's the awards for this week. We had reKAWp of the week went to Keelan Kennedy. The week went to Manny Wilkins. Coward of the week went to Anthony Becht. Dumb bitch of the week went to Mike Pereira. What up pimp where you been of the week went to Darius Shepard. And premonition of the week goes to Sam Acho for let's see how he responds to it throwing an interception. He responded by throwing another interception for 6 points for the other team. So at least he threw a touchdown to somebody. Okay, that is it for the reKAWp. Let's get into a bird's eye preview. Okay, so in Week 10, the only game on the XFL slate this week that means anything, and it kind of means a lot, but could be completely thrown out of the window. Anyway, I'll get to that. Bird's eye preview for Week 10. The San Antonio Brahmas are coming to St. Louis to play the St. Louis Battlehawks on Saturday, June 1st at 3 p.m. It's being aired on Fox. Wade Phillips, the old fat loser guy, is their head coach. AJ Smith, the guy that is not fat and old and looks like a child, not as much of a child as some people do, but as some offensive coordinators do. But AJ Smith does look very childlike. The Brahmas starting quarterbacks, Quentin Dormandy and Chase Garbers. Their running backs are, one second, let me see if I can pull this up and make this better. Their running backs, one is Anthony McFarland. He's good. Two is John Lovett. He's good. The thing about it is that both of those guys are inactive this week, which is important because this team really likes to run the ball first. The way the Battlehawks do it, they establish the pass, then run the ball as a kind of a counterpunch. The Brahmas, completely different. They are run the ball first and then throw it. So the running back that they have that is good now, they have three good running backs. They have the Anthony McFarland, the John Lovett, and this other guy, Morgan Ellison. Morgan Ellison is the one that's probably going to be their featured back. They really do kind of like to rotate running backs. I don't know who their other guy is going to be. I don't know if they have another guy like on their roster, somewhere down on their roster. The thing about this is that in the UFL, you can only have 42 active people on your roster on any given game day. So that puts a lot of pressure on coaches to get the right people in there. But Anthony McFarland and John Lovett are not playing. So that means that it's going to be Morgan Ellison and some other guy. Their wide receivers, they have Marquez Stevenson is good. They have this other guy who's probably one of the better receivers in the UFL. Let me see if I can pull up exactly what his numbers are. This guy, John Trey Kirkland. Pulling up the passing right now, or receiving, sorry. John Trey Kirkland is the third leading receiver in the UFL with 487 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns off of 77 targets. So he averages 9.9 yards per reception. Sorry, 49 catches for 487. Yeah, so 9.9 per reception. Averages 54.1 yards per game. In comparison, Hakeem Butler, the best receiver in the UFL, 43 catches for 618 yards, 5 touchdowns, averages 14.4 yards per catch, and averages 68.7 yards per game. Okay, so John Trey Kirkland and Marquez Stevenson are their two best guys. They have this other guy, Justin Smith, number 10, who's fine. But they have Cody Latimer is just out for the season. Is the end of his football playing career. He was a guy who's really good. He was their tight end, but again, wide receiver-y tight end was Cody Latimer. So he's not in. So my point here is that this team is hurting on weapons. They're hurting on weapons. They have a good offense. They have a very well-schemed offense. But they're hurting on weapons. But to get back to their quarterback situation. So Chase Garbers, in Week 3, when the Battlehawks played them, he got hurt, and the Brahmas thought that it was kind of a dirty play that had happened. So they're going to be playing with a little bit of stank, I think, here. But Chase Garbers, last week was his first week back. He took the vast majority of the snaps. He threw the ball 23 times, where Quentin Dormandy, the guy that's been their quarterback for the past, what would that be, 6 weeks? Right? So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6 weeks. Yeah, Quentin Dormady, who's been their quarterback for the past 6 weeks. He might play. He might play. Here, the difference between them. So Chase Garbers is a more athletic quarterback. I think he's a smarter quarterback. I said this when we were talking about when we played them the first time. He's good at not being dumb. When he throws the ball away, he's good at not taking sacks, and he's good at not getting the intentional grounding. He's got really good arm angles when not really good. He's got good arm angles when he throws the ball. But he doesn't have a huge arm, whereas Quentin Dormady does have a big arm and is less athletic. There's a reason why Chase Garbers is the starting quarterback, is my point here. Yes, Quentin Dormady can throw a bomb, but he's just not good at most of the other things, whereas Chase Garbers is totally fine with tucking the ball and running. He's good at it. I would say that if Manny Wilkins can't get him out of my mouth. I'm not going to walk that back. If Manny Wilkins knew what to do when he ran the ball, he would be better than Chase Garbers is at running the ball. It's just Chase Garbers is a much better quarterback than Manny Wilkins. I believe that it's going to be Chase Garbers. I think that if this game somehow does get out of hand for San Antonio, they'll bring in Quentin Dormady just to protect Chase Garbers. And also, if you're looking to get back in a game, you're going to want to throw those bombs, and that's what Quentin Dormady's better at. So that's kind of the situation here as far as their team goes. As far as injuries on the battle, or not injuries, but inactives for the Battlehawks, Marcel Aitman is inactive. Jeff Thomas, who's another guy that they just picked up, is inactive. Good news, Ben DeLuca is no longer on the IR. He's on the inactive list. So that means Ben DeLuca could come back for the XFL championship and the UFL championship if we do get there. But I do imagine that we'll see Ben DeLuca at some point in the postseason. Like I said, Quinterio Cole is inactive. Teton Saltz is inactive. Abdul Beecham is inactive, and reKAWp, who's just a special teams guy, is inactive. That's one other thing that I didn't bring up when I was talking about the offensive line. So Vidal Alexander who is not inactive, so I believe that he'll be back. But the Battlehawks last game, they were also not rotating in, but I noticed there was multiple drives kind of in a row where they would have Donovan West in at guard and Abdul Beecham at guard. I'm guessing now, looking at this, that's because Abdul Beecham was hurt. As far as the practice participation for the Battlehawks went, A.J. McCarron has been limited all week. Jamarcus Bradley, I brought it up earlier. He went on the IR with a neck thing. Jared Jones-Smith was limited for Tuesday and Wednesday, practice full today. reKAWp, like I said, did not practice. He's out with a hamstring. Lavert Hill is back from a concussion. He's a corner, number 24, I believe. Like I said, Marcel Aitman is actually inactive, but he was totally fine to play. Looks like he practiced in full today, but he's inactive. Quinterio Cole did not practice with an ankle, which sucks. Steven Gonzalez practice full. Vidal Alexander practice full. So that's what we're looking at as far as the health of this Battlehawks team right now. But going back to the last time that the Battlehawks played the Brahmas. The reason the Battlehawks won that game, so that game, the Battlehawks won 31-24 in the came down to the wire there. But the reason that the Battlehawks won that game is because they limited the Brahmas' big plays. I always talk about these big explosive plays, and that, to be fair, it's a huge thing in what football is now. In that game, Battlehawks had 7 big plays, which is a pass for longer than 15 or a run for longer than 10 yards. Had 7 for 132 yards, whereas the Brahmas had just 2 for 26 yards. And I think that was like a 16-yard pass and a 10-yard run, or maybe it was a 15-yard pass and an 11-yard run, whatever it was. They limited that. They really, really limited that. The reason I bring that up is because now we're talking about, and also in that game was a game that the Battlehawks were down 4 starters on defense. 2 of them were on the defensive line. But now we're talking about a team that is going to be completely built out of backups in the defensive backfield. You're not going to have you're not going to have Brandon Sebastian. It's Tim Harris. You're not going to have Ben DeLuca. It's Cam Kelly, who's been playing good. I will say I like a Cam Kelly. You're not going to have a Quinterio Cole. I don't know who's going to go back there for him. And you're not going to have a well, maybe you will have a Chris Payton Jones, but honestly, I've kind of been on him. Maybe it'll be a Keelan Kennedy. I feel like he's definitely earned some reps. So that's kind of the situation when we're talking about limiting those big plays in an offense who, like we just said, is going to be down to just one running back. They're going to be looking to throw that ball, and if they're looking to throw that ball, that's where those explosive plays are going to come from, and from a defensive backfield that's dinged up. Does this all make sense? I feel like this all makes sense. So that's kind of where we're at with that, and that's my biggest scare through this entire thing. I don't know. As far as I think I talked about their offense already. They got these good weapons, the running backs, the quarterbacks. Their offensive line is fine. Their offensive line is good at run blocking. We will say that. Again, having a less than talented running back that's going to be in rotation there is certainly going to hurt them. They do like to throw the ball to their running back, specifically that what's his name, Anthony McFarland. They like throwing the ball to him a lot. I believe if I look at it, he was actually their leading receiver last week. Anthony McFarland had 15 catches for 82 yards. But again, he's out, so who really knows what they're going to do with that? This is a RPO offense. They get that run established, and then they're able to just kind of do what they want based off the reads. That's kind of where the threat comes down to with this team. They do, if they don't get those explosive plays like they did in the last time we played. Again, they only lost that game by 7 points. They were still well in that game until their last drive where they had a turnover on downs and then Battlehawks needed out. They're totally fine with doing long Mondo drives. In that game, they had a drive that was 17 plays, 8 minutes and 59 seconds, a 17-play, 9-minute drive, and they had a 12-play, 6.5-minute drive. They're totally fine with just walking down the field. They scored on both of those drives, by the way. So, like, they're totally fine. It's not just like they're only reliant on explosive plays. They can also just grind you out too. I mean, that's kind of how they do it. They're a good team. They're a good team. They're a good team. I think we played them a long time ago, and the Battlehawks defense has grown a lot since then. After that game, the Battlehawks defense kind of went on a tear, like just shutting people down, became the best passing defense. And I guess that game probably also played a part in the best passing defense in the UFL, at least for a point. I'm not entirely sure if they are there right now. But the defense can shut these guys down. It's just with the unknowns in the defensive backfield and seeing how other teams have been able to expose this defense. While this defense does kind of correct things and make adjustments, you could argue that they make adjustments a little bit too late. And will the game be out of hand by that point? Like we don't quite know. I think that the defense can be more physical than San Antonio's offense. San Antonio's offense is not their better team. Their defense is much better than their offense is. I will say that. So that kind of brings us to that defense. I think that's all I really had on their offense. Let's see. Garbers will make mistakes. Let's talk about things with the quarterbacks. So Garbers will make mistakes. It's just up to this defense to really capitalize on them. So that'd be good. Quentin Dormany's pocket presence is dog shit. Like that's kind of what I got. And who really knows what we're going to see from this team, because we're going to play them in the week after that. So that's another part of this, is how much of their game plan are they actually going to implement? Are they going to try to feign some things? Are they going to just kind of dick the Battlehawks along to make us more comfortable when it comes to a game that really does matter? Again, this one is for home field. But does that really do the Brahmas care more about preserving a game plan than not letting the Battlehawks get home field advantage? And that's kind of where this offense comes into play, this Battlehawks offense. Here is my thought. I don't want to see... This game either matters to this team or it doesn't. This game either matters to this team or it absolutely does not. If this game matters to the Battlehawks, they will play A.J. McCarron the entire game. And that is a really, really, really bad idea. We've seen what this team counts as their second-string quarterback, and they believe that he's better than Brandon Silvers. Having a healthy A.J. McCarron in a playoff game is so much more important and so much more valuable than not having home field advantage. Because San Antonio does not have a home field advantage. It's just that the Battlehawks are losing home field advantage. That's what this is. It's not like they're going to go into San Antonio and be in a hostile environment. That's not... They're a better crowd, but they're not game changing like playing at the Dome is. This game either matters to this team and they play A.J. McCarron, which is a bad idea, or if the game doesn't matter to them, then they do Brandon Silvers. We don't need Manny Wilkins. We've seen Manny Wilkins. Manny Wilkins had the opportunity to get his tape out there. He had the opportunity to get his tape out there against a team that was 1-7. Manny Wilkins ain't having a better game against the Brahmas defense. Brandon Silver's been sitting on the sideline all season. Let him play. That's what I want. I want this game to not matter to the Battlehawks, to Anthony Becht, and I want him to put in Brandon Silvers and let Brandon Silvers see what he can do. See what you have with Brandon Silvers, running the same offense as A.J. McCarron. That's what we want to see. That's what I want to see, at least. And I understand that you can be mad at that and be like, no. Home field advantage is very important. And it is. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying that I believe that the path to a UFL championship, to get to that game for the Battlehawks, is with a healthy A.J. McCarron, and the better road is with a healthy A.J. McCarron, not having the road go through St. Louis. That's what I'm saying. And you can disagree with that. If you disagree with that, that's totally fine. Let me know if you disagree with it. Is that what people say on YouTube videos? Hey, if you disagree with me, write it in the comments. Fucking write it in the comments. Call me a moron. I don't care. Say something mean. Say like, hey, stupid, I want to go to the game, dickhead. Say something like, I don't know, you're more creative than that. I don't know, call me... I'm not going to come up with your insults for you. I insult myself whenever I look in the mirror anyway. We're not going to do that. But that's where I'm at with this offense. You either play A.J. McCarron the entire game. They're going to play him for a couple drives. They said at the beginning of the game they're going to play him for a couple drives, just to like knock the rust off or whatever. Kind of treat it like a what's it called, a preseason game for him. And okay. But you better only call screens, which hurts me in my heart. That hurts me in my heart. To ask for screens. Or only quick passes. That's all you should be doing with A.J. McCarron. Don't you dare let him try to push off with his ankle. Don't you... No. I know it's his left ankle and not his back ankle when he's throwing. But don't you dare let him push off with that thing. Keep that thing in bubble wrap. Put him in a walking boot. Put him in 2 walking boots or a suit of armor. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to protect him. He's the most important piece to this team. He's the most important piece to this team. The team flows through him. He's a coach on the field. You do not want him to not have any play. You don't want to put him in a position where he misses playing time in a win or go home game. That's what I'm saying here. Because this game, again, ultimately, it doesn't mean a whole lot. So, the offense. Jake Sailors will play. He went out near the end of that last game, but it was with cramps. And the only offensive player that really means a whole lot that the Battlehawks are going to be missing this game is Marcel Aitman, and that actually doesn't mean a whole lot because he's kind of been bad this season. What if I go to the Battlehawks team page? I want to see exactly what Marcel Aitman has done this year. Stats, individual stats, receiving. Marcel Aitman has 17 catches for 208 yards He does have 3 touchdowns, so he is a so yeah he can be useful in the. I totally forgot about his red zone usage, especially since his team has trouble in the red zone. But that's where we're at with this offense. The Brahma's defense they're fucking good, dude. Their defensive line gets a lot of pressure. They get penetration, which is again another reason why you don't want to have AJ McCarron in there to have to deal with that. Their defensive backfield has really started to become a stronger piece of their defense than their defensive line. They've got this number one. This guy, he's their slot. I don't know his name. I wonder if I could just look that up right now. Number one on the Brahmas, Bryce Thompson is this guy. He plays fast. He comes downhill. He'll break up a pass. He'll get an interception probably this game if we're playing with a backup quarterback, and that'll be ugly. Darius Phillips is another cornerback, number 2. He's good as well. The thing is with this team is that their tackles, they all swarm. So this is not just a situation where the Battlehawks, if you catch the ball, you have to make the guy miss. You have to make the guy miss, or you need to be catching the ball in stride. There can't be any bad backwards balls or any, like thrown behind or getting somebody stuck flat-footed when they catch the ball, because they're just going to get swarmed and just the shit kicked out of them immediately. That's how this team goes. I mean, that's just the way that they work. They swarm and they tackle really, really well. I did not mention this about their defense yet. They lead the league in sacks. Another reason why you don't want AJ McCarron to be in there. It's a really good defense is the point. It's a really good defense who's gotten better as this season has gone on. Is there anything else about their defense? Their linebackers, I mean, they're fine in coverage. They also are I mean, they get sacks as well. They come with blitzes. They play screens really well. That comes along with that a whole bunch of people swarming to the ball. They do play screens really well. If a wide receiver is making a contested catch, you need to have strong hands, or you are not coming down with that ball. They're cornerbacks, not a bunch of pussies. They are guys who are going to be physical and will rip the ball away from you. How long have I been talking? Is this going on entirely too long? It's been an hour and 11 minutes. I gotta fucking get done with this. Anyway, let's get into the prediction. The offense is going to have a hard time, is kind of what I'm saying here. They're going to have to play a really good game because the defense is really good. My prediction for this game. Okay, the Battlehawks. Second, let's go here. I don't think that the Battlehawks are going to have some huge day out on offense. I don't think it's going to be another 30-point outing. I think it's going to be closer to something like 24. I don't know if they're going to be able to win this game with 24. It really just matters how that first quarter goes, because that's another thing about this San Antonio team. In first quarters, they have outscored teams 41-0 in the past 8 games in first quarters. So they start strong. They start really strong. And if the Battlehawks can find some way in order to really get on top of them early on in the game, that's going to be pivotal to how the rest of the game comes out. I don't think that the Battlehawks win this game. I'm going to say that. I think that this game is going to be a Arlington 26, Battlehawks 24. That's my prediction. I think that the Battlehawks are going to end up going to Arlington. Not Arlington. Fucking, I got all Arlington into my head, and then now I can think as Arlington. The Battlehawks are going to go to San Antonio in the UFL championship game, and everybody's going to hate it. I think that's what's going to happen. This team is just this San Antonio team's just good, man. Kind of top to bottom. Yeah, they don't have the running backs that they need, but they got a lot of weapons. That John Trey Kirkland they're good. They're good. I think that they're going to win 24. I think that the Brahmas are going to win 24-26. This has gone on entirely too long. I can't believe you guys let me talk for this long. Thank you guys very much for listening to Solid. My name is Jake. Your Battlehawks are going to play the San Antonio Brahmas on Saturday at 3 p.m. I don't think they're going to win. If they do, that would be awesome, but I don't think that they're going to because I think that the way that they should do this is not have A.J. McCarron in the entire game. Go Battlehawks, go Birds, go Ironbirds, cause the law. If you have anything to say to any human being in public, say it. There's the tornado came through and a guy turned on a wood chipper, and I could hear the wood chipper saying, "Oh, Battlehawks," and I was like, "Wow, man, that wood chipper is they're part of the nation." Thank you guys very much. I will talk to you on Sunday after the game with a reaction, and we're going to get into some postseason week. That's what we got going on. I'll talk to you guys later. Go Birds, baby.